Hello, authors, book lovers, and storytellers. Welcome to RM Hive, and you are tuning in to Reader's Magnet's featured author interview. I'm your host, Revan, and today we have a very special guest. He is an author of 5 books, and right now we are going to talk about his book, Science, God, and You, the Ancient Theory of Everything. So, ladies and gentlemen, Jim
Ah,
Gleeson. Hi, Jim.
hello.
Thanks for joining us today.
Hello, Revan. Good to see you.
Hello. Okay. So, before we start our interview, Jim, I really want to know about you. So, who is Jim
Oh,
Gleeson?
well, I've been trying to figure that out for years because sometimes you come to realize you don't really know who you are.
True,
The
yeah.
world tells you one thing, but that may not be the reality of who you are. But I
Mm-hmm.
started out as an architect. I was an architect for many years,
Mm-hmm.
and I got really interested in sustainability. It became politicized, and I started getting interested in politics and started writing about it. I wrote a paper called "The Politics of Green,"
Mm-hmm.
and that was my start in writing. And then,
That's
5 years later, here I am. 5 novels later.
wow. 5 years later, and you are here right now with Reader's Magnet. So,
Yeah.
we are actually featuring your book, Science, God, and You. So, can you tell us about that book?
Well, yeah, I was doing a lot of research, as I mentioned, in the relationship uh, between science and God,
Mhm,
and how was science dealing with finding out about uh, that matter was really just energy and things like that, and so I started a foundation called Science, God, and You, and I had a
mhm,
website and to help people with that counterintuitive aspect of finding yourself. It's very, very counterintuitive, and
mhm.
that's the one problem that I mentioned in the book.
Mm, that's nice. So from a research to a book. So you're
Yeah,
actually looking for that answer for that one problem. So what is the one problem and one solution described in the book?
yeah. Well, as I found out, there's really only one problem. The world presents a myriad of different kinds of
Mhm.
problems,
Correct.
but the
Yeah.
the one problem in finding out who you really are and what your connection to whatever you call God is, like
Mm-hmm.
I said, is very counterintuitive. But it's
Mm-hmm.
only one problem, and what you need is only to want to solve that problem. That's
Mm-hmm.
the problem. A lot of people haven't gotten to the point where they realize there is a problem, but the one solution then is seeking the answer to that problem, seeking who your inner
Mm-hmm.
self is, and
Yeah.
that solution is a solution because God wants you to know who He is and your relationship to Him. So it's always doable if you don't quit.
Yeah. So seeking for your real self. That's actually beautiful. So for your readers, how does the book explain the concept of substance and its relation to the eternal truth?
Oh, um, yeah, that's a good one because um, quantum physics has tried for years to find out
Mhm,
what atoms and molecules are really comprised of, and they've gotten down to studying the smallest and smallest down to photons and the Planck
mhm,
element of the smallest particle there is, and they found that there's nothing there but vibrating energy,
mm,
which means there is no matter per se. Everything that
Hmm.
we see is made up of stuff that has no substance. It's
Mhm.
just energy and probability. And so what that comes to the point where you realize that the only real substance is what's eternal. What goes beyond that, that lasts forever, whereas everything that we see and touch goes away.
Mhm.
It's temporal. So
Yeah.
substance is really consciousness, or whatever God is substance,
Mhm.
and that's what we're
Yeah.
looking for.
Yes. So I actually love that you are using the background of quantum theory and the spirituality of things, and that
Hmm.
is actually so moving to me. So, and also you have mentioned a while ago that you're an architect, correct?
Right.
So, what inspired you to shift from architecture to writing novels? Because it's such a huge leap
Well,
from one
I
career to
yeah,
another.
I
Yeah.
didn't do it, Reverend. I didn't do it on purpose.
Mhm.
I, as I mentioned, I was big into sustainability, green architecture, but I began to realize that it was being politicized
Mhm.
and and usurping the value of sustainability. So I wrote a paper called "The Politics of Green,"
Mhm.
and I started doing some research, and I liked writing, so I began to get into writing um, uh, novels that explored those ideas in
Mhm.
people, writing novels about people that were dealing with the same issues, and
Mhm.
that's what got me into it. And about the same time, well, that was back in 2008 when the economy went
Mhm.
down the drain, and I lost my business, my architecture
Oh,
business. So I just kept writing, and that's where these five novels came from. Plus, I have other novels that I haven't published yet. So that's how it started.
yeah. That's actually a great life story. I
I
was
should I
listening to
should
you
write a
and it's like,
novel about that.
yeah, you
Yeah,
should
yeah,
write a novel, like a memoir, right?
yeah.
So
That's a good idea.
from a business that didn't actually go well to becoming an author of 5 books
Yeah,
today. So
maybe I'll do that, Reverend.
a really nice story actually. You should write that. So, by the way, I have actually researched, I have searched your website, jimgleesonproductions.com, and I
Uh huh.
saw that you're actually writing a lot of books. So I've actually searched for these books as well. And I've noticed a story with Matt Lacker.
Yeah, you
Right,
you
there's the
found Matt
CIA,
Lacker.
yeah, the CIA director. So, what is the focus of the Matt Lacker trilogy, and
You,
how does it relate to a spiritual awakening?
well, first let me say, Matt Lacker sounds like an interesting name, and
It is, yeah.
it's his friends in college used to call him gloss enamel.
Mm,
If you
gloss
understand the
enamel.
relationship between Matt Lacker and gloss enamel, uh, but
Mm-hmm,
but anyway, as I said, I was writing. I was trying to come up with characters that I could use to display the path towards awakening. And
mm-hmm,
Matt Lacker, the character, starts out as a bad man. He was what they used to call an economic hitman with the CIA,
hmm,
where he was one of those people that would go into these countries and uh, create processes by which we would steal their resources. We
mm-hmm,
would steal their, underground resources, their oil or their, rare minerals or whatnot. But he rose up in the CIA and it had an awakening. He
mm-hmm,
had an epiphany and he realized how bad he was.
mm,
And he started trying to expose all the corruption that he knew very well while he was trying to figure out his bigger self. He was trying to figure out who
Mm.
he really was and what God is. So people were trying to kill him while he's trying to figure out and grow in his self awareness. So it creates a really a whole series of interesting things, and it turned into 3 books.
Yes. It's
Yeah. So
I actually want to know more about Matt Lacker now. I will I
I
will try
hope
to
so.
go to the
See,
website and find that
I,
they're also available on Amazon, right?
Amazon and Barnes and Noble, right?
Barnes& and Noble is nice.
The
Also,
first the first
yeah.
two are available, and the third one I've already written, but it's not published
Uh-huh.
yet.
Oh, the third yeah, I've noticed that the third
Yeah,
one was called The Ladder, and it's coming soon.
exactly right. The
Yes,
ladder.
so for
See, the
you guys who
ladder.
are watching, The Ladder, the third book, is still coming soon, so you might want to look at the other two. I believe the first one is called Now. There's
No
I
one
forgot.
knows. The first one's
No
called
one
No One
knows. The first
Knows.
one's called No One Knows. The second one is called
The matter of
um
life.
The Matter of Life, and the third one is called The Ladder, which is coming
Right.
soon. The first two books, guys, is available on Amazon and Barnes and Noble.
Very
And
good.
also,
Right.
I as I was skimming through your website, I've noticed that you have an album. So it was it called Charlotte Zone?
Charlotte Zone. Yeah.
Oh
It's
yes.
the,
Oh yeah.
it's a play on words that uh, a combination of Charlotte's own because it features a lot of Charlotte's best musicians that I
Oh
coerced into playing with me, which is amazing. But and
yes.
also Charlotte Zone, like it's
Charlotte
around
Zone.
Charlotte. And so I
Yes.
featured these local artists, violin player, piano player, some really great musicians
I agree.
that
Yeah, I
made
agree.
made me sound good.
Yes, and I actually have a favorite. So I've listened to the snippets that you put
Well,
in the website.
Reverend, way to
But like,
go!
yeah, I love the one the one that sounded like country song, and the lyrics goes like, "I wanted the moon and I wanted my dreams." Is it called "It Will Roll"?
It's
That's
that
the
one.
album.
That one's
Yes.
called Happiness. I
Oh,
wanted the moon and I wanted the
yeah.
stars.
Ah, it's called Happiness.
Good things, and good things with nothing in between.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, how does your music relate to your books?
Well, that's a story there too, because I wrote most of the songs um, back in the '80s when I was between marriages. I was alone, and I wrote songs. But here, many years later, I came across these tapes, and I realized that when I wrote these songs, I didn't understand a lot of them.
Mhm.
I didn't really know what they meant. But now, with all the study that I'd done, I began to know what they meant. Like I have one called Born to Be in Love. And it sounds like a love song, a earthly love song, but it's
Mhm.
really about God talking to the world, saying, you were born to be in love. And then happiness, diamonds in the road. I was traveling back and forth to see my son, and I would
Mhm.
see certain times a day, I would see these sparkles in the road. And it
Mhm.
reminded me of we are blessed with blessings all along the way, and a lot of times we don't see them. You have to learn to see them because God puts them there to help you, and
Yeah.
and so you got to be sensitive to that. And then one last one I'll tell you is called Facing the Music, and
Facing
some
yeah, yeah, I know
facing the
the title.
music, and someone challenged me to face the music and start putting it out there instead of just me in my little studio, sharing it with other people. And that's when I started hiring a saxophone player and a violin player and produce that album. And since you asked, I have
Mhm.
another album coming out in the spring.
Oh, an album coming in
Coming out in
spring.
the spring called Handmade Music from the Heart.
Yes, I will
Yeah.
check.
Yeah,
So
I'll
the
send you one, Revan.
phone, and then we have the handmade music. So
From the heart.
yes. very inspirational actually, and you guys are really good. I've listened to the snippets and I was like, oh, if I wish I was
Not
listening.
bad, right? Yeah, it's
Yeah,
very
but
organic. It's not
yeah, very organic.
machine made. It's not machine
Uh-huh.
made. It's not manipulated voices and all that. It's
Yeah,
just
I noticed as well.
live.
Yeah, very organic. Real instruments.
Yeah, yeah, you can
Yeah,
tell it's a real
yeah.
violin. Thank you for
So
listening to those. Yeah.
yes. So Jim, so do you have any other projects that we need to look forward to?
Well, the big one I'm working on. Of course, I'm going to the London Book Fair
Mm-hmm.
and to um, you know network and get to know people and all that. Because I have, like I mentioned, I have three books that are manuscripts that are just begging to be published. Um, and of course, the third Matt Lacker book, and I have a book called A Movie,
A
and
movie.
it's called A Movie. It's the title is A Movie starring Jaffe Godfrey, the man who broke the world. And it's
Nice.
about this regular guy that has some strange experiences and
Mm-hmm.
and goes on to do things that that are beyond what normal people think are possible. But according to scriptures in the Bible, they are possible.
Mm-hmm.
And that would make a wonderful movie. So I'd love to find somebody that could help me write the movie script for that one.
Yes, you are a man of talents. A
Well,
lot of
my
talent.
Revan, my website, I don't know if we have time, but my website it's called Creativity. And it's about how
Creativity.
everybody has the ability to be creative. It's
Mm-hmm.
all about getting rid of the fear.
Mm-hmm.
So you
It's
can
about
let go and create something and not quit.
yeah. That's really nice.
Yeah.
It also inspires the viewers as well.
Well, I hope it does. That's the whole point of it. I'm trying to,
Yes.
spread
So,
spread the joy of creativity.
yes. The joy and the passion.
Yes, yes,
Yes.
right. Yeah.
Okay, so right now I'm going to give you time to promote your books and where we can find them.
Oh, my books are to find. Well, I'll show you. I have a couple here. This was the first one. Is it
Yeah.
backwards? Is it going to be backwards on the screen?
I can read it. Yeah.
Well, it's Judges, Kings, and Pirates,
Mm-hmm.
and it's about a man's journey to overcome the world and find out who he really is. And then, but the one we're promoting right now
I
is
love
is
that.
is is really the most relatable to people.
Mhm.
The ancient theory of everything, and it just says that man's science can't possibly find a theory or mathematics that covers the eternal. It can't
Mhm.
possibly do that. And the ancient theory of everything is just many religions in the Bible already have taught and expressed the theory of everything,
Mhm.
which is that God is within you when you release your dependence on the world. You find it because it's already there and it's eternal, and anybody can do it if they want to do it.
Mhm.
You got to want to do it. If you want to prove that it's not possible, you'll never find it.
Yes, correct. So these books are available on Amazon and Barnes and Noble, right?
Yes, they are. Yes, they are.
Oh,
Yeah, and you can find the link on my website, jimgleasonproductions.com/books. But if you just
bless.
put in jimgleasonproductions.com, it'll take you to the books.
All right.
Thank you,
So
Revan.
you're welcome. So we can go to you. For the viewers, you can go to Amazon or Barnes and Noble and just type in Jim Gleeson, and you can actually find all the books that he had that are published in these book distributing channels.
Yeah,
Or you can go to www.jimgleesonproductions.com and you can find all his materials there. I suggest you go there right now and you can find all of his materials, like the books, the music, everything. So it's so worth of visiting
yeah,
the
very good.
again, that's www.jimgleesonproductions.com.
Very good.
So
Thank you, Ruben.
it was an awesome time with you, Jim. Thank you so much for gracing us with your presence. So, Jim Gleeson, everybody. So get your copy of Science, God, and You on Amazon and Barnes and Noble, or go to www.jimgleesonproductions.com. And once again, thank you for spending time with us here on Reader's Magnet, Jim. I had fun having
Great,
interviews
great,
with you.
great. Good job, Ruben. I appreciate it.
Thank you. So, guys, let us open the pages and unravel the secrets of your personal odyssey. And I believe that your ink never runs dry. So, tell your story, you storyteller. And this is your host, Revan. And as we say it here in Reader's Magnet, we share your story with the world. Bye. Stay awesome.
Bye bye.